Pensioners across the country are on the brink of financial hardship. Currently, nearly 1 in 5 pensioners, that's 2 million people, live in poverty. And over 500,000 have been forced into debt over the past decade. And the number of older people renting rather than owning their homes has reached an all-time high. And at its heart, it's a class issue, as the most vulnerable older people are left to suffer. A class issue exacerbated by over a decade of Tory rule. And the public share this side of the House utter indignation. More than 80% of respondents to a YouGov poll commissioned by the Centre for Ageing Better stated that the government is failing to ensure a decent life for older people. My constituents in Luton South and the wider public recognise the increased hardship for what it is, a political choice by this Conservative government. Spiralling inflation, soaring energy bills, rising petrol prices, a real terms cut to the state pension and a tax rise on working pensioners. This toxic combination will have a devastating impact on pensioners' living standards and threaten the health and well-being of the most vulnerable. The government's state pension real terms cut alone will mean that individual pensioners will be £222 and couples £335 worse off per year. Abandoning the pension triple lock in the midst of the cost of living crisis is irresponsible policy making. That's before we even consider the energy crisis, which will disproportionately impact older people as they are more likely to live in the least energy efficient homes. According to House of Commons Library estimates, the energy price cap, which has already gone up 12%, may increase significantly more to 29% in April. This would mean energy bills increasing by around £340 a year per person for a typical household aged 65 and over. Working pensioners are likely to be £1,400 worse off over the next 2 years due to a mix of soaring prices, a tax hike and a lower state pension. That's 1,170,000 people, working pensioners across the east of England, out of pocket. Even before the pandemic, 40% of over 50s had savings of £3,000 or less. So really, what is the government doing to ensure older people will not be forced to run down their savings during this cost of living crisis? The Conservative Party seem incapable of devising solutions to fix this cost of living crisis. Older people across the country need concrete action in Wednesday's spring statement. Without a plan, the government will be knowingly leaving older people exposed to the crisis. And so the government must consider measures like those in Labour's plan, which would cut household energy bills by up to £600, scrap the unfair tax hike and commit to protecting pensioners' financial situations in the long term. After a lifetime of contributing to our country, older people deserve security and prosperity. Thank you.